Hogstye.
Steve is missing. We started the show and Steve is. Oh, there he is. Oh, thank goodness.
Steve who? I see Marco
I was
Rubio
petting
right
the
here.
dog, people.
Yeah. He popped in the shot like from underneath the table. It was very funny. Hey guys.
Our fourth cast member was sitting here, and I was scratching his head. I hope y'all don't mind.
Yeah.
I mean, heck, the way he came up from under the desk like that, I thought for sure it was gonna be Bill Clinton by chance.
Well, it wouldn't be Bill Clinton. It would be somebody,
It'd be someone on Steve's team. Yeah.
This is
right.
the Hogstye, by the way.
Welcome to the Hogstye. It is all of us. We are all here for this week until Cabana Dave goes on a boat trip. Hurricane season not anywhere close. Dave, you're safe there.
I'm okay with that. I've been caught in a hurricane before, and it's still just fine. I'm okay with that.
You've been caught in a hurricane on a boat before?
On our last they could go, so we run them. Now they did a good job on keeping us away from the actual major heavy aspect of the storm, but we still got quite a bit. The boat was rocking. My daughter, son-in-law were getting sick and everything, but I mean, I was fine. And of course, my wife, I went to go to the bathroom, came out, and here she just, because we were on the fourth deck at that porthole right there, so she's just watching the waves at the side of the porthole, just enjoying it. And I come in and go back to sleep.
I can guarantee you I've been through well more hurricanes than either one of you, but I've never been through one on a boat, so that is new.
And yes. I would say, let's be quite honest, Steve, infinitely more terrifying.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Are you kidding me?
I know they're floating cities, but still, like that.
Right.
That's.
I don't want to be on a boat on a cruise ship in normal times because I don't know what I would do on a cruise ship and sit in a floating hotel and do nothing.
That's the thing. Yeah. You're not doing nothing. There's plenty to do. Plenty to do. They even have plenty of non-season food for you to enjoy.
It's just being in a hotel. I can't think of a more boring thing than being on a cruise ship.
I've done it once. I will probably never do it again. It's not my scene. For those who it is, go for it. Just
Oh yeah, absolutely, Dave. I hope you have fun. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. I mean, clearly, it's just not for me. I mean, I would rather.
I get it.
Right.
I would rather go to. I don't know if you want to say we were going on the air, but I mean, you're going somewhere warm, and I would rather just fly down there and go to the warm place rather than have to sit around on a boat. That's my position.
There is one place that I want to do a all-inclusive trip though. One time for a week with the wife would be Aruba. I mean, that's just a beautiful island, beautiful beaches, everything about it's just fantastic. And they never get caught up in any of the hurricanes come through there. I never knew that until this year when
is it that's further south, right? That's why?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like right in that sweet spot.
Yeah. My aunt went there recently, and
I'm also not a huge beach fan. It's again because I get bored. I mean, I don't want to I don't know what I would do laying on a beach for a week.
Virgin.
I would. Oh my God, I would just go out of my mind.
I think you would like what I did in Virgin Gorda, where they have rock cave that you can climb through in the ocean. That was kind of fun.
See, that sounds fun.
Right.
But I don't want to just sit in the sand and
right.
What I don't.
You go explore the caves a little, then you go back and swim a little, then you go sit and chill out for a minute, and then you're good, and then you head home.
Well, that's the thing down there. I mean, you can also do snorkeling. You can also do these things you could do.
Oh, I do love
so much to do down there. You don't have to just sit on the beach the entire time.
I'm just saying that's what a lot of people do, and
right.
Good God, no.
Yeah. So my big thing, years ago we went to Sandals. What I couldn't understand is this was at Sandals, Jamaica. It's nothing special. It's overpriced and the food is mediocre. But all these Midwestern jackasses who they don't want to go to the beach because they're afraid to swim in the ocean, and they just sit at the pool at the beach.
I really don't
resort.
understand that.
Right.
Yeah, no, right.
Completely alien.
I've got a pool in my neighborhood I could go to and walk there for free.
Right. This was also a place where I ran to a woman who had never heard of Thai food before, and she was very confused by the existence of Thailand, I guess.
Not the sharpest knife in the drawer, perhaps.
No. Like I said, Midwestern zilches,
Listen, there's plenty of dumb people in the Northeast. A bunch of you arrogant Northeast people who think you're better than all the rest of us.
But we've tried Thai food before.
You might not have tried Oklahoma food, though.
I have tried Oklahoma food. There ain't nothing there.
You don't know that.
I do know that because I've
never
been to
lived there.
Oklahoma.
I've lived in Oklahoma.
My roommate who's in the Air Force, he lived there for 7 years. He took me to all the best spots.
Fine, Iowa. How about that?
Iowa. Okay, yes, I've not yet been to Iowa.
There you go. Bingo.
Corn. Is that the big secret? Corn.
Possibly.
It's the caviar of the Iowans.
I'm just
corn.
saying, the dumb people are not limited to the Midwestern. The hoity-toity, too good for society Northeasterners are dumb too. That's all I'm saying.
No,
okay?
we love society. That's the whole point.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, but they carry a certain level of fake violence about themselves. They sit there and they'll puff out their chests and they'll try to talk you down, but the minute you take a step to them, it's like, oh no, hold on, wait a second, man, this is not.
Well, that is definitely
let's talk about this.
When you go especially where you are up in Philly, Boston, New York, that is definitely a thing.
Yeah.
It's what ho, that's
yeah.
how, yeah. And those
Texas
are
has a different way of handling stuff like that.
All right, we should focus in on this show got off to such an off start. I'm just gonna say that. I'm gonna break some cape. Like that was the weirdest start to a show.
Yes, it was.
It, for us at least. All right, but let's talk about what's going on with
who
the
else
team.
has their Redskins fidget spinner?
What? No wonder Dave is in full goofball mode.
Are you going to tell everybody who I invited to the show today?
We already said Marco Rubio.
You didn't say that on the air, did you? Did you
say
that on the air? Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Marco, Secretary of State Marco Rubio is here. He may chime in.
Yeah.
I don't know if he knows anything about football. We're going to find out.
No, baseball guy.
Probably not. Yeah.
Yeah, probably baseball guy. Not the stereotype, but
But you exactly did stereotype. But
yes, I did.
Okay, let's move on.
Yep. All right.
Probably not probably a baseball guy because he happens to be Hispanic from Cuba. That's what you're saying.
Yeah, a Cuban American who lives in Florida, and that's their jam. Yeah,
but not the stereotype.
but not to totally stereotype. Also, a twin, right? Twins love baseball too.
Is he? I didn't know he was a twin.
I thought.
Are you a twin, Marco? I'm not telling.
I never knew he was.
Yeah.
I thought he was for some. I was trying to make a Minnesota Twins joke out of it too. Like that was a whole. Oh well. It fell.
What does the Minnesota part have to do with Marco Rubio?
Just the fact that there's a baseball team named Twins, man. That's it.
We need to move on. This is going.
This show, because Steve popped up from under his desk, this whole show is ruined.
I was scratching the dog's head. Okay.
All right.
Is that what we're calling that now?
No, I was literally scratching our fourth cast member's head. That's what I'm saying.
All right. Let's just reset and talk about the football team for a minute.
Yes. Let's do that.
So there's a couple interesting stories that we wanted to touch on early on. A little blurb here, not a big deal really. The team has hired a scouting associate, Keenan Guthrie. This happens to be the nephew of John Lynch, who happens to be Adam Peters' old BFF from his old job. So, no nepotism at all in the NFL.
Listen, if people don't understand this, and also, Alex is joking.
Yeah. Yes.
The NFL is maybe the most nepotism. See, our fourth cast member is very upset about the nepotism in the NFL. It is ripe with nepotism, and it's almost a primary reason people get jobs in the NFL.
Especially in that front office, yes. Uh, I, I think when it comes to the sport itself, we're starting to see it more and more that you're getting these multi-generational players. Sonny Styles is one technically, right? I mean, like, or
There've always been. It's not we're starting to get them. It's just you and I are old enough now. We're seeing them. Okay,
well,
they've always
well,
been there.
but I think that you're seeing more and more of them as the sport gets older. Uh, I still think baseball is still the king of that, like at least in my mind, of like father-son baseball players and stuff like that.
Oh,
Uh,
I mean, there have been fathers and sons who've played together on the same team.
right,
Yeah.
right. Of course, we've talked about that recently. I feel
Yeah.
like, yeah,
And my least favorite public figure ever, LeBron James, is currently playing with the Sun, with
right,
my former no
right.
longer team, the Lakers.
I still feel like that's rarer in the
Oh, I think
basketball
that's
world.
maybe the only one in basketball that
It
I can
it
remember.
might be the first, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and of course racing huge with nepotism. It's in all sports to an extent. But
There's a lot. I mean, the
from
Earnharts,
yeah,
you know.
yeah,
By the
the
way,
Gibbs
didn't
family
he
owning
die?
Joe.
Rest in peace. Didn't,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Is it Dave
Uh,
Earnhardt? Dale? Not Dale.
no,
The son.
Dale was the original,
Yeah. Anyway,
right?
rest in peace, Mr. Earnhardt.
Yeah, yeah. But what was Yeah, so the hiring of a nephew, not the end of the world, just interesting. And this guy played linebacker in college, so it's not like they're hiring some kid with no football experience, I guess. But it's a story worth mentioning. The real story worth talking about at the top of the show, as we are on the Brandon Ayuk watch here in DC, is this news that just came out today that in Santa Clara County there is an arrest warrant out for Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
He videotaped himself speeding around the stadium and
Let me
around
explain
his
this. First of
neighborhood.
all,
Yeah,
the today is the day we're recording this, which is Wednesday, not the day you're listening to it, June 3rd. So, in California, there's a misdemeanor criminal charge for exhibition of speed. And so in this case, Brendan Ayuk, because he's a moron, videotaped himself flying around the stadium going 100 miles an hour. So the speeding itself is a crime, but the video is what got him charged with the misdemeanor. Um, so at this point, I don't know how that could make things even worse for him. In the world of criminal charges, this is stupidity and it's very minor. He can plead this out and probably not
right.
even get it on his record. But it's just yet another idiotic thing this guy's done.
It's more of the salacial nature of arrest warrant issued that people always pay attention to.
Right.
Um, I know that that's a little bit of a formality, Steve. Like, when something like this happens, you have to issue an arrest warrant for the guy. It's not like you caught him in the act. But when that always makes a headline. The term warrant.
Yeah, and
Uh,
listen, you could get a warrant for, if you forget about the speeding ticket you got and you don't show up for your court date, you're going to get a warrant.
right, right,
It's not a murder charge. I mean, all I'm saying is this is Brandon Ake is a moron.
right.
We don't want morons on the Washington team. And anybody who's going to drive 100 miles an hour around a stadium deserves what they get.
It's probably a nice hefty ticket right now for him.
Oh
Just
yeah. Well,
yeah,
I mean, ironically, I haven't seen this video,
yeah.
but unless he showed the speed on the video, let's see. Okay, well,
I
so
saw a
now I've
clip
got a
of it.
story. So
Yeah,
this is according to Pro Football Talk,
it
Michael
didn't look like
David
it was
Smith.
recorded from within. It looked like it was somebody recording him.
Yeah, dated June 3rd. In this story, it says that the video that Ayuk posted to his YouTube channel showed him driving 104 miles per hour past Levi's Stadium. So it apparently the 104 is in fact on video. So they could charge him with a humongous ticket. They could get him with a humongous speeding ticket, I would assume, too, in addition
Right,
to the misdemeanor exhibition of speed.
right, right. The other thing about this that you're starting to see some conspiracy theory things out there of people being like, well, this is the city trying to get back at him on behalf of the team, which I don't buy. I think that's a little too, uh, like
No,
that level thing was not happening here.
I mean, I wouldn't put that past certain DAs, to be perfectly honest. I mean, yeah, they kind of like getting high-profile people in charge and stuff.
Oh,
But in this
sure.
case, this is typical of younger people. In today's world, they tend to post themselves on YouTube
Mhm.
and TikTok committing crimes.
Right.
And when you do that, especially you're a high profile person, or in the case of like an influencer or something, a lot of followers, you're
Right.
begging to I mean, they can't let it go.
Yeah.
Well, see, here comes my biggest problem. This whole thing. You have a receiver who who kind of fell out with his team, did what he could to get the contract null and void so he could prepare himself to move on. I mean, supposedly to Washington where he wants to go, and he wants to have all the stars line up the way that he wants. But what he's done in terms of not communicating with other teams when they try calling him, not answering the 49ers phone calls at all during the all season, even when other teams made inquiries of a possible trade, doing something like this when he knows that he's trying to set himself going forward, and all he's doing is putting himself out there in a position like this. And one, not only making a fool of himself, but also, I mean, risking harm for himself or somebody else in the area. I mean, all of this coming together as a GM, regardless of his relationship with Jaden Daniels, regardless of whatever talent. I mean, he could have Jerry Rice talent level right now. But the way that he's conducted himself since last year to right now, I'm sorry, Adam Peters. There is absolutely no way you could justify bringing this man on this team, especially when you're trying to turn around an abysmal season from last year. You're trying to get a young quarterback to take on a new system, and continue to grow and mature. You don't need this distraction. This cannot happen at all. I was kind of on the fringe of maybe having it. We can look past something, but right now, for me, it's just too telling with me and his personality and the kind of player he is.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather him be nowhere near this team.
I told you guys before a couple weeks ago that I was done rooting for idiots.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
And
you've been done
he's an
rooting for
idiot.
idiots for a long time.
Yeah, I know. I mean, but this guy's a bigger idiot than most.
He is a special kind of stupid right now.
He kind of reminds me of Tyreek Hill. A little
Yeah.
bit, and Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill was worse because he was abusing people, but remember he got arrested for, in front of the stadium because he was being obnoxious with cops and,
Right.
it's
This
just,
is not at
it's not
Brown.
that.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill punched a pregnant woman, if I recall. Did he
Yeah.
not?
Yes.
Or was that,
Well, it was
No, that was Tyreek
alleged.
Hill. That was Hill.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
yeah, you're right. So
Yeah.
that's way worse, but Banner kind of reminds me of sort of the Walmart Tyreek Hill a little bit in
Yeah.
terms of that.
The irony of it is, at least everyone my generation would know better because we all had an episode of The Simpsons that had a whole joke about, hey, filming this crime spree is a great idea. This younger generation, they didn't watch enough Simpsons. They didn't see
Yeah.
that joke and say, oh, don't film yourself doing shit like this.
Right.
Like just basic life lesson 101. If you're gonna commit a dumb crime, don't tape it.
I don't remember that Simpsons episode, but there's a lot of,
There's-
there's a lot of things you can learn from the Simpsons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these kids are not watching enough Simpsons. That's what I'm saying.
I think when you have as many years as the Simpsons has had, you're
Right.
bound to stumble across some good messages every once in a while. They're up to like season like 35 or something now. Maybe more.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all right. I'm 43. Yeah, 30. They're probably at 35, 36. You're right. So I was told I was too young to watch The Simpsons. It was too risque when it first came on.
The Simpsons got to be the longest running non-news program in
I think it
television
is.
history.
I think so.
Yeah.
Not counting like late night or something like that.
Well, even that, because they were technically different shows. Carson was late night, and then there was a Letterman was a different one, and this idiot who just what's
Colbert
his
was
name?
a different
Colbert.
one. Well,
they're all
so
different.
it is, but it isn't because it's always been called Late Night with. such and such, you know.
But I think they're considered different programs.
I
is what
think
I'm
so.
saying.
I think I would make the argument they are. But yeah,
37 seasons, 800 episodes, and they are signed on to go through 40 total seasons thus
Okay,
far.
there you go. Okay, so there
Yeah.
you go. It's got to be the longest running
Yeah.
fictional show in
continuous one
TV
too,
history.
because
Yeah.
like Doctor Who technically has been on since the '60s, but they've had huge breaks. You know,
Well,
there
if
are
we're looking at if we're looking at fictional shows, you got to look at Monday Night Raw for WWE. I think that takes the cake on that one.
They're not. It's not nearly that old though.
no, it's really
It's
not.
nowhere near that old.
No,
Yeah.
they both came out in the 90s because Raw debuted in the early 90s, same as The Simpsons. Is that
Well,
right?
they've had
Simpsons early
several
90s,
different
right?
media contracts, and it hasn't been Monday Night Raw. It's been other things.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
been wrestling on the air generally since the
No,
90s.
I'm talking about Monday Night Raw. Period.
I don't
But-
think you're right. I
But
think you're
Dave,
wrong.
here's the
I don't
problem.
know.
It's
Double
that's
check that.
that's a sport. That is not a.
Well,
That is
his
not
point
a.
is a
fictional
joke
show.
that it's fiction, is what he's
Yeah,
saying.
I know.
Yes.
What do you
Bottom
wait,
line
what?
is Brandon Ayuk.
Yeah.
Just go away.
Right. You mentioned, Dave, that you saw something that Brian Thomas might become available too.
It's no significant reporter out there, just more or less like lower level guys just kind of bringing it up again that Jacksonville might still be interested on moving Brian Thomas Jr. So I mean, it's worth kind of mentioning that if he does come open, I think this is a guy at I think 25 years old he's at right now, still on his rookie contract. A former first round pick. Granted, he's had some drop issues over his career, but if you have an opportunity to take like a day two pick and dangle it down to Jacksonville, try to get him, this is a guy that you want to bring onto your roster over Brandon Ayuk or Stephon Diggs. To be perfectly honest with you, and it's a guy that who knows could if he can change of an environment, change the scenery, maybe he stops his drop issues and he plays back to what he was his rookie year. I mean, you could see a guy could potentially team up with Williams going forward as a
Yeah,
pretty
but
formidable tandem and stuff like that. But
I don't know
I
why
think
the Jaguars would make him available.
well,
I don't
he's
get
been
that.
actually before the draft and in the draft itself. It was well known he was available for trade, but they were looking for a first round pick, and nobody was giving that up for him. So they could be moving off that a little bit right now. Who knows? I haven't heard anything significant out of Jacksonville, but it's just sometimes they say where there's smoke there's fire, right? So maybe we see something start to materialize. Not necessarily for Washington, just in terms of the situation for Brian Thomas
I
down
don't
there.
know.
That's
It
all.
seems unlikely to me, but I mean, Thompson is headed into his third year. Um, he had 87 receptions as a rookie and
Yeah.
significantly less last year, 48. So
Yeah.
it kind of went
Right.
downhill.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big part of why I think he might be available. Look,
Maybe.
and we're past June now, so we have seen like the AJ Brown trade. Uh, the Browns made their huge trade, of course. This is the time of year where you see that late roster movement stuff happen because of the June 1st date.
So the June 1st date for
yeah.
people don't understand it is that that is the date upon which if a player leaves, trades / is cut, the dead cap hit can be spread over 2 years. That's what's relevant about. So you hear a post June 1 designation for release. That's why it's important. So you don't have to take a huge dead cap hit in that year.
The one thing I've never understood though with that, Steve, and I'm sure it's just NFL legalese, how they can designate all these guys at the beginning of the year post June 1.
Oh, that's just a CBA thing. I mean,
Yeah,
you can just designate
but
them.
you understand what I mean? Like, why?
It is technically speaking, they're not really released until June 1st, basically,
right,
but they're released.
but somehow
and
they are, and they sign a new contract.
that's just they agreed to that, and
yeah,
it's just a contractual provision.
Yeah, I know. It's such a weird
Don't overthink
designation.
it.
Yeah.
Don't overthink it.
Damn it! Now I'm overthinking it.
It's
Is
just
it-
a bunch of lawyer gobbledygook is
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah. So Washington did make a minor move. Steve, you had it. You said Ja'Cory Brooks was released, right? And
Yeah. So Ja'Cory Brooks is released, and they brought somebody in named tight end Anthony Ferkser.
Anthony Firkser. First I've ever heard.
Firkser.
I don't even knows her.
Well, I can tell you, he's actually a 7-year veteran. Out of Harvard, undrafted free agent. Spent 4 years at Tennessee, 1 year with the Falcons, 1 year with Detroit, and then the Jets, Kansas City, and then Detroit again. He has never been. He's only started 8 games in all those years. Let's see, only 123 receptions,
real
1,200.
hardcore career practice squatter is what I'm hearing.
Yeah, back of the roster at least.
Yeah,
Right.
And did I say 2000? What did I say? If I didn't say it right, 2018 is his first year in the NFL.
Yeah.
So don't expect him to be the second coming of
Anything.
Yeah.
I expect him to be the first coming of Anthony Firkser. That's what I'm expecting.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's not going to be Rob Gronkowski.
Oh, poor guy. All right. So that's the only real roster move the team's made. Very minor, obviously.
Yes. I got a more. Most importantly,
what?
I remember I mentioned the radio station was doing the top.
Oh yes. What was the winners? You wrote it down?
Well, I was right about the number one. I did listen to the end of it, and Stairway to Heaven was number one.
Of course, that makes.
But
perfect
I
sense.
was stunned that number 2 was Metallica, Enter Sandman, and number 3 was the Scorpions, Rock You Like a Hurricane. Now, to your point, Dave, you were thinking of the album Dark Side of the Moon, not the song. Comfortably Numb is the one you were actually probably thinking of.
Right.
And that was like number 12 or 13 or something.
That makes that
yeah.
It belongs in that. It's in the conversation.
Yeah, it belongs
Absolutely,
in it. Yeah.
yes.
And Alex's, your guess was dumb, and obviously that's not going to be
Well,
anywhere near it. So.
yes, because I was doing what I would pick, not what I thought
Yeah.
would win. Yeah.
But that's it's the fact that Metallica and the Scorpions are 2 and 3 were pretty mind-boggling, I thought. So anyway, that was it.
Oh, that's
Sorry,
fine.
go ahead,
That's
continue.
Okay.
And where was Van Halen on any of that?
So, what was the top? They were in the top 10.
Van Halen should be there. I wouldn't have been shocked if Queen had ended up in there with Bohemian Rhapsody.
I can't remember what song it was, though, to be honest. There were a couple. There were several Van Halen. And Led Zeppelin had
to be honest.
Probably
Jump. I can't remember. I'll look it up.
When you're doing these, it's always what is their big hit. So Jump's probably a safe bet. Yeah. All right. So their only other real team news this week, they announced that the stadium's going to have some like special deals on food this year, and this is something we've kind of seen across the NFL. The Falcons started it with like, what was it, dollar sodas and stuff like that, dollar hot dogs. Washington's not going that route. They still have to make back that $6.5 billion, but they have announced a bunch of food items are reduced price this year. And we're going to play a little game with this called is this actually a good deal or not? Title. It's not let's make a deal because that's copyrighted. So, we got to come up with a good title. But I'm just going to give you guys the prices that they're hyping up as here's our food items that are 10 items under $5 and then 5 items under $10.
Before you do this, would you like the top 10 of the songs?
Okay, let's do that top 10 and then we'll do this nonsense.
Because why not, right?
Yeah. This show's completely off the rails. It's fine.
Yeah.
I know. It's fine. Y'all will survive. Okay. Number...
Go 10 to 1. You know the rules.
Okay, so I think I had one wrong. So, 10 to 1. First of all, Enter Sandman was 2, but it was Hotel California was number 3.
Okay.
So I had that wrong. But, okay,
this also
10,
really makes me disrespect Houston's music listeners.
Take it for what you will. Don't Stop Believing by Journey, number 10.
Okay.
Kashmir by Led Zeppelin, number 9. Living on a Prayer, Bon Jovi, number 8. Free Bird by Skinner, number 7. Pour Some Sugar on Me, Def Leppard, number 6. 5, Bohemian Rhapsody, Queen, which is one that I think Alex called out.
Yeah.
4, You Shook Me All Night Long. 3, Hotel California. 2, Enter Sandman. 1, Stairway to Heaven. Now, somebody asked about Van Halen. Let me see. Where's the
They,
top?
they were out.
The
just
top
outside.
one was 19 Eruption / You Really Got Me was the top Van Halen song on the list.
Okay.
So
Okay.
there you go. There you go.
I'm surprised 19. It's actually pretty low for a Van Halen like that.
Well, remember these are fan voting based on kind
Yeah,
of what they're
sure.
hearing on the list and what
Right.
they're hearing on the stage. Yeah. So
I get it. All right, so now let's play my stupid game. This game is called Is This a Good Deal or Not?
okay.
All right.
Now
so,
I'm gonna say this. I don't eat this food, but I'm gonna play along and
Yeah.
as if I did to go along with the game.
All right, we're gonna start with the things they're saying. Hey, these are all under $5 now, guys. You can get a bottle of water for $2.50. Good deal or not a good deal?
I mean, that's
Aquafina,
about average.
name brand water.
It's about
That's
average.
that's right about average.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
yeah.
I
I
don't know
guess
if
you
it's
could
a
say
good
good
deal.
deal.
I mean, it's not a bad deal.
It's not a
No.
bad deal yet. Gatorade $3.50, a whole dollar more for those electrolytes.
Yeah,
Again,
it's a
that's
good
about
deal.
average. Yeah, I'd say
Yeah,
good deal.
yeah, they're hitting averages here. I'm gonna do some of these drinks first just to get them out of the way. Pepsi, a 20-ounce soda, another $3.50. To me, that sounds high.
That's a
That
bad deal.
It's
yeah.
been so long since I bought a soda. I really I don't know.
Like it's
That's too
not
high for
movie
20
theater.
ounce.
Yeah,
No.
it's not a movie theater bad price, but that's not a great deal.
Yeah,
Nachos $4. Now I'm assuming this is the shitty like fake cheese
I
and
mean, I think if you
Totino's
went to
nachos.
Taco Bell and bought nachos, it would be somewhere in that range. And so I'd say that's again probably about average.
Yeah,
Actually, I'm almost be willing to say the nachos at Taco Bell are better than the nachos they have there. I wasn't
Yeah,
overly
but from a
impressed by
price
them when I had
wise,
there.
from the price wise though, I mean it's in the range of. I think that's a decent deal.
I'm actually with Steve. I think price point wise, that's not bad. It's not going to be a good nacho experience.
Yeah, the air marked
Yeah.
nachos might not be good, but that's a
No.
different
Right.
story.
No. All right. A bag of chips for $3.
What size bag? Yeah, this
It
a regular.
doesn't. It doesn't give us size. I'm
Actually,
assuming it's
I
the
know what
little
size they are anyway.
Yeah.
For how
it's
much
the
again?
$3. I think
Bad
it's a
deal.
bad deal.
That
Bad deal.
sounds
Horrible
like a
deal.
lot, man.
Yeah.
Especially when it's
For like
mostly
20
air in
potato
a,
chips. Yeah, like
it's
20
mostly
chips
air
for
in a bag.
$3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's do it doesn't again no size given. A thing of French fries for $4. I actually think conversely good deal. $4 for fries? That seems
If-
reasonable to me.
If it's a size that's been the last 3 years, yeah, then that's not a bad deal.
Like
That's
a
pretty good
normal
deal.
medium fries size. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
a pretty
it's
good
been
deal.
so long since I bought fries. I mean,
Steve is like, what do fries cost now? $100?
yeah, I don't know. I
I'm
really,
in
I
my
don't know. I
mansion.
mean, it doesn't strike me as a huge amount of money. Say it
No,
like that.
no, it doesn't. It doesn't seem like a bad one. This one does to me. A cookie, one cookie, $3.
Well,
No,
it's a giant cookie.
it's not a giant cookie.
I think it's
a
a normal
regular
cookie.
packaged mama's one.
I think
Yeah.
it ought to be $1.50 then.
Yeah, that's a $1.50 cookie. I'm
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
Souvenir popcorn. Now this is souvenir popcorn, so that means it comes in a souvenir piece of cardboard. $5. I'm so used to
Nah.
movie theater popcorn being
Yeah, I
outrageous.
think it's fine. That's okay.
Yeah, meh. Yeah. $4.50 for a Bavarian style pretzel.
No way. Good God. That
No?
sounds terrible.
Well,
For
is
a
that
pretzel?
just for like a normal pretzel, for like a big puffy pretzel?
That's a lot, man.
How much again?
$4.50.
I'd probably lean more towards 350, so I would say a bad deal.
Bad deal. All right, and now I saved the most important one for Steve, the jumbo hot dog for $4.
That seems like a decent deal. I mean, again, I wouldn't eat a hot
I
dog,
don't know,
but
man.
it seems like a decent deal.
No, because I could go right here a Wawa for a jumbo hot dog for like $2.75.
Yeah, and look, we all know the Costco hot dog will always be $1.50.
Yeah, but
That's
that's
true.
Costco.
Yes,
You can't
that is
compare.
true.
Is that how much
Yeah.
it costs in Costco?
Yes, they've like stated they will never change the price of their hot dog because that's
I don't know.
their
I mean, because the hot dog is like the main feature of your lunch.
right.
So $4 doesn't strike me as a terrible deal. I'm gonna say that's a decent deal.
It's
We can
not
disagree.
bad. It's not like they're charging $8 for it like they used to.
Right.
So, all right. Conversely, you could get the Encore Italian sausage, different from a hot dog, for $6.
No,
So
That's a good deal.
that makes the hot
that's
dog seem like the cost affordable option. You
yeah,
know?
no, that seems like a terrible deal.
No, that's actually a good deal. I've seen
You've seen their sausage?
I've seen their sausage.
Is
There's a
it
lot of
big?
girth in that. Yes.
But it's just a tarted up hot dog, basically, right?
With onions and
Yeah, it's got
peppers.
onions and peppers, fried onions and peppers and everything on a nice Kaiser roll. It's
Yeah.
actually pretty good. I mean, it might
it's
be
that's
a
a
little bit
staple.
high in price, but it's really not that far off from what
I
you do
mean, look,
outside.
if my kid said I want a
A big
sausage,
sausage.
I'd do it. Okay, whatever, fine. But it strikes me as a high price for a sausage. I'm gonna say bad deal.
Bad deal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Uh, so let's get to the local thing here because by the way, we're in the under 10 category, obviously. A bowl of Ben's chili from Ben's Chili Bowl,
I
$8.
have no idea. A Ben's, is that a
It's a
brand in
DC
DC?
icon.
I don't
Yes.
know. I'm
It's
pass.
it's been around since the 40s or what 50s or something.
But again, $8 for your
For a bowl
principal
of
meal,
chili.
kind of. I don't know.
And it's
I
probably
mean,
not a very big bowl either. I'd say
I
bad deal.
So here's the thing, and I might catch some heat if anyone local hears this. Ben's chili on its own is nothing good. It's a great chili dog chili, great on a half smoke. All alone, it's a very below average bowl of chili.
if it's a
So
decent sized bowl, though, if it's a tiny little bowl, yeah, too much.
Yeah.
But I mean, it doesn't say how big the
no,
bowl
no.
is.
If it's like 10 ounces plus, like a decent size, maybe that's okay.
Right.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say, it's all right. This one I think is outrageous. The souvenir soda is $7.50 or you could just get the 20-ounce Pepsi for, what was it, $3.50?
Well, you get to keep the cup.
Right. Oh boy, the cup.
So, I mean, but I think that's fair. I mean, the cup is worth $3 or $4, right?
Well, not
Eh.
when they manufacture them.
No, but if you went and bought the cup in
In
the
a
grocery
market,
store
yeah,
or whatever,
sure,
it'd be
sure.
$3 or $4.
Sure. Even if you go to like a Ross and you buy stuff on discount, those cups are something. Um, I'm gonna still say bad deal though, because I think don't do the souvenir cups, guys.
If you want one, I think that's
I-
a decent deal.
Yeah, I've seen their versions of souvenir cups there. They just feel so weak, so flimsy. I've never. I mean, granted, maybe it's a different style cup
It's not
this
plastic.
time around.
It's not like a good
Yeah.
solid plastic.
Yeah, no, I
See, that's no
didn't.
good. Yeah. So like,
I'm gonna say decent deal. $7.50
so like,
souvenir cup.
I'll. Do I have it behind me anymore? No, I got rid of it. I had a 7-Eleven souvenir with Alex Smith cup behind me forever. That was like a hard plastic cup. That it would.
I
That would last.
I had one from 7-Eleven or somewhere forever. That was a Redskins one that
Right.
finally started leaking because it was so old. But
Sure.
that was like a mug, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the final two items, and I think these are your entrees that Steve's been talking about, right? Like these are your big winners to me. A burger and chips, $9.99. So $10 for a burger plus a bag of chips.
How much is? But if you went and ordered a Big Mac, what would a Big Mac be?
A Big Mac meal now is like $12. I feel like I haven't
It
been to
can't be
Mc-
20, but there's no way it's 20.
No, I said 12.
Oh, 12. I mean,
Yeah,
of
For
course,
like a
what
full
you're
combo.
describing doesn't have a drink either, though.
That's true. Now keep
Yeah.
in mind, an order of chips, what it was on its own, it's $3 there. So this
And this is a
means
burger.
a burger
chips
and
for nine.
chips.
For $9.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good deal.
I mean, it's okay.
I've had their burgers. I mean, the burger alone, I would never pay more than $2 for it. I mean, ever again.
Really?
Yeah, their burgers were not very
Now
good
this
at all.
is the smash burger, technically, not just a normal burger.
Oh, it's not an Airmark burger.
Well, I'm sure it's still an Airmark burger, but because it's all
But
Airmark.
Smash Burger
Uh,
is a brand name though.
No,
That's not
smash
Airmark.
it's a
It's a
style.
style of burger. That's all.
It-
But there's some place called Smash Burger.
There
That's
is
Well, there's a
a-
restaurant called Smash Burgers. Yes.
They invented the
But
smash burger, but everyone does it now. It's basically when you press the meat really flat against the grill to make
yeah,
sure it's well done
Okay.
and
Well,
crispy.
regardless,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say $9 for that is. It's not a bad deal. It's about average.
I say a bad deal.
Okay.
I think it's actually a good deal. And my personal favorite, I say for last, chicken tenders and fries, 8.50.
That's a good deal.
I think
That's a
that's a
good deal.
fantastic deal.
Yeah.
That's a winner right there. If you're talking a side of fries and the tenders, and it's not just one tender. It's going to be 2, 3 tenders, right?
Actually, they usually do. Last year there's always 4 tenders when they do the tenders.
4 tenders,
4 tenders, yes.
4 tenders for $8. That's a
And they're
winner,
good
man.
sized tenders too. They're not real tiny. They're good sized tenders too.
I mean, and all this is earmarked food, and none of it's all that good in
Oh,
stadiums. But
it's absolutely least healthy version of all this food.
I
Like
already said I wouldn't eat any of this stuff. I
right,
mean,
right.
that's not the point. It doesn't. Nobody cares about what I
There's
eat.
no Steve salad on the under 10 menu.
No, no. But most of that stuff, generally speaking, was a decent deal. I mean, I think the management, the ownership of these teams have learned, I think, to a certain extent that they need to provide some kind of incentive for this
Right,
for
right,
folks. And I
Yeah.
mean, and they're still making money,
right.
on all of it. So they
And
can afford
besides,
to give some deals.
and besides, whenever you do a menu options where you see meal deals, right away you think, oh well, they're doing something different and giving me a deal on something. So, I mean, right there alone, just the advertising alone kind of draws you in, thinking you're going to get something a little bit cheaper for the same quality food you had
And you're
before.
not at all, by
right,
the
Not at all.
way.
right.
Right.
Well, and look, this is not. It's just business, but the markup is always on soda. We all know that. Like that's been the
There's a
truth.
huge markup on soda,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah. That 20-ounce soda costs about a penny, and
Not
the
quite
cup. Well,
that low,
the
but
cup.
yes.
It's always been that the cup actually costs more to produce than the soda. That's kind of the running bit. So like that, they might take a loss on the burger or the chips and fries, or the chicken and fries.
They're not taking a loss on any of it, Alex. Okay?
Well,
They're not.
they might have a thinner margin there. Let's say it that way.
Yes, that is true.
The soda is liquid profit. We all know that.
Yeah.
So
That's why they sell you giant sodas. in
that is
stadiums.
exactly what's up. All right, so those are the deals for you out there if you're curious about that kind of stuff.
Now, what is that? 2026 at the Washington Stadium, at Northwest Stadium? Is
Yeah.
that what it is?
Yep,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. Do we want to like save a copy for when they open the new stadium so we can do a compare and contrast?
If you would
Yeah,
like
I think
to.
so. Absolutely. I think that's
All
a great
right.
idea.
Someone write it down and like put it like a calendar item for 2030. All right. We finally are at position group breakdown time. This is edge rushers weekend, or week for us. So we will be breaking down the Washington edge rusher group. Steve and I had several conversations. How do we want to divide edge rushers now that we're going from a 3-4 to a 4-3 behind the scenes? So these are outside linebacker edge rushers. That's
Yeah,
kind
so
of what
we're
we
going to
settled
do
on.
linebackers next week. Alex is
Inside
responsible.
linebackers.
Well, yeah, but the edge rushers are technically linebackers, and so if Alex wants to cover them,
I
I mean,
touch
it's
on
not
it.
brain surgery here.
Yes,
Yeah,
because I had already written them all up. I touched on it and said,
yeah.
yeah, this is a thing.
But in
But
terms
yeah,
of just the dedicated edge rushers in this
right.
3-4 system, no one from Tampa wrote this. It's got posted on June 3rd and Wednesday, which is the day we're recording this. And so the returning players, the big name obviously is Dorrance Armstrong,
Right.
who got hurt last year, but he was kind of the mainstay of of the rushing group last year before he got hurt. I would say Javante John Baptiste is back, Dietrich Wise, Drake Jackson, DJ Johnson, and TJ Magnaron, Mag Magaronyanga, God,
Yeah.
Magaronyanga, which is
Hmm.
the guy I was counting wrong because he's in the International Pathway Program. Um, they lost Preston Smith, DeMarcus Walker, Jalen Holmes, and Jacob Martin. None of those are any great losses. Preston Smith certainly the highest profile. The big issue here is they signed a bunch of players.
Right.
They really went all out. They got Odafe Owe, 4 years, 96 million. Caleb Von Chason, 1 year. Charles Omenihu, 1 year. Andre Carter, who is the son of Andre Carter, I believe. Is that not the case,
No,
Alex?
we
No, it's
checked
not.
that
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just a
that's right.
coincidence. Yeah.
And then we also the team drafted Joshua Josephs in the fifth
Right.
round. So that is the entire quote unquote edge rusher group. This is the group that it was Alex's quote that he just couldn't get enough of from Javon Kinlaw. Praising a lot of these guys last week and a string of curse words.
Right.
So I think there's little doubt. Odafe Owe has to start.
Oh,
Yeah,
no
yeah.
question about that.
He's going to be a starter. His contract is enormous.
Mhm.
And so then you have to think Dorrance Armstrong and or
Chason, probably.
yeah, thank you. Caleb on Chason is probably the other starter on the edges, and then everybody else is fighting for scraps, so to speak. The big guys are Menahue, obviously Joshua Josephs, and then the practice squatters are the rest of them. Baptiste, Magnurong, Younga, Dietrich Wise.
Right.
So I think that's kind of, in a nutshell, that's it. So you got to,
Well,
I mean,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
think there is some discussion that will need to happen within the team about guys like Javante Jean Baptiste, who they seem to like, and Jackson as well, because they're bigger guys. Their build is really traditional 4-3 defensive end. You're talking guys who are in the 260, 270 range, not 250s, 24. Like, one of the whole things with going from a 3-4 or a 4-3 to 3-4 is you're going to have these guys who don't quite fit anymore. Even though like I said, I like Javante Jean Baptiste when we saw him play before he got hurt. So I wonder how that will impact some of the decision making because of that. And I mean, Armstrong might be in that discussion too, just because historically he's a holdover from a different system. Um, can they do it? I don't know. We've seen guys make the transition back and forth before between defensive end and outside linebacker style edge rusher.
Washington has also seen it not work on
We've
this
seen
team
it.
in
We've
years
seen it
past.
fail, and we've seen it succeed here. Like
Yes.
Ryan Kerrigan, successful. Like he went back and forth, and he did a great job. Jason Taylor, remember that? Remember when they brought him in, and he was like,
Yeah, it didn't really work.
yeah, he was like, this is a bad idea. Everyone should not do this. and what happened? Yeah, but
I mean,
look,
I think, look, they have a lot of talent in this group.
they
Not all of them
definitely
are
boosted the talent. Yes.
Yeah, tremendously. Daffy always really the only one they're spending any real money on, so they need him to work. But if Caleb Von Chason, for example, fails, so what?
Right.
And they've got a bunch of guys here. They really 2 or 3 other guys that can step up. And so I think the theory is, I think they've brought in so many people that a couple of these guys are bound to work.
Well,
and most importantly, they got younger and faster.
They got significantly younger. Chason is 26. Obviously, they drafted a rookie, and always 27. So like you're talking about bringing in 2 free agents who should be able to be productive and be here for at least 3-4 seasons, and still be under 30. Like Owe, there is some concern because he had that really rough start in Baltimore. I don't think we should gloss that over. He had 0 sacks before he was traded, and then finished with 7.5. I don't know. I don't know if we know why, as layman fans, but the team seems pretty confident that he'll be highly productive when he's here. By the way, there was and I had it in my notes to talk about this, but there was a interesting article that Brian Salk in ESPN did about ranking the 10 position groups throughout the NFL who improved the most. So all 32 teams, all their different position groups, what teams improved the most in one spot. Washington had 2 groups on this list.
Obviously, one of them is edge rushers. Otherwise, you wouldn't have brought it up now.
Right. Edge rushers came in at number 10, which still, look, if you're talking all the different teams, all the different being any group coming in top 10 is great. The number 3 one that they had, linebackers, inside linebacker for in our case.
Well, sure,
So,
Sonny Styles,
mhm,
Leo
right,
Chanel.
right.
They got
So,
rid of Bobby Wagner. Yeah.
right, right. This is gonna, but the fact that this group and that group, basically the the front seven, like a huge chunk of the front seven is
They
all in
recognized
there,
it
and
was
it's
a train
great.
wreck last year.
I think so, and it looks on paper they really tried to address it, which is what you want. Um, yeah, man. Look, I look at this group. I think it's a safe bet that you're going to see Chason and Owe as your primary starters. I think Armstrong and Josephs will rotate in pretty
I don't know.
heavily.
I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't be willing to just bench Dorrance Armstrong. I'm not convinced.
I worry about him coming back from injury, right? Because he was hurt.
Yes,
Yeah.
fair.
Uh, and two, I just think, given that you're saying these we're doing this new scheme, I think Chason fits what they want to do a little more.
You
I
might be
also
right.
I also
Uh,
think he is a better left side linebacker or rushing on, against left tackles than Owe is. Watching highlights of both of them, Jason's actually better at that. Owe's like a big, mean, muscly, like physical guy. Jason's better at getting around left tackles. So that
I
might play into
mean,
it too.
no one from Tampa agreed with you in terms of projected starters. I'm just not willing to concede that really until we see what goes on in training camp.
And that's fine. Like, for all we know, Joshua Josephs might shock everybody and somehow get one of these jobs, right? Like
We don't know. It's
it,
possible.
things like that happen. Yeah.
So I kind of I was doing a quick search on the style of defenses between the Ravens and Chargers from last year because it was something pretty interesting between well from Oweh on how on his rough starting with Baltimore and how and how he finished with San Diego. They both run a 3-4 style defense. They both you had the Chargers to run more of a zone style defense, and the Ravens a man to man. But the important part is the Chargers on the men are they favored a system of simulated pressures and four-man rushes, which is exactly what Durante Jones comes out with Brian Flores. So he simulates and disguises a lot of his blitzes and a lot of his rushes, and ultimately a lot of times only rushes, typically four on a Brian Flores defense. Where the Ravens now in here they say their philosophy was quote unquote organized chaos. I don't know exactly what that means, but basically they didn't have a lot of structured blitzes or schemes in terms of how they rushed the quarterback, and they try to manufacture certain pass rushes. I'm assuming basically off the read of what the offense is doing, maybe or whatnot. So when you look at what those two defenses did compared to what we're looking at in what a Durante Jones defense is going to potentially do, we're looking more of a style what the Chargers did with more of a zone style defense, a defense that's going to disguise the blitzes and a lot of times only bring four. So this defense is fitting more on what Owe whatever
Oh
was
wait.
most Owe was most successful. So that's a good sign right there. So
Hmm.
maybe that's why
Well,
they went after him as heavy as they did,
Well, yeah, I was gonna say
because
maybe they know what they're doing.
yeah,
correct,
How
yeah,
about
that
that?
sounds
maybe.
Just a
insane. That
shot.
sounds,
Yeah.
yeah, that's just nonsense. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
So look, I think there's a lot that we don't know. We don't know what this defensive style is going to be. I for one think it might make a lot of sense given the high pressure format that our new DC likes to run. You might
right.
see guys like Luvu occasionally line up at outside linebacker and rush from the edge
Well,
because
this is the organized chaos thing versus kind of the
right.
disguised structured blitzes that Dave
Right,
was getting
exactly,
into.
exactly.
Yeah,
Because I think a couple of guys they brought in to be more traditional inside linebackers, they're good rushers. And Luvu, I know his sack numbers haven't been great, but he can get in the backfield and cause
yeah.
some problems. We've seen that before. It would be a mistake not to use them that way from time to time, frankly. Um, so like there's a lot to be seen here. I guess we should go through who do you guys just right now guessing makes the roster, how many guys and who?
Well, I mean, Dorrance Armstrong, Caleb Chason, Joshua Josephs, Adafi Owe, Charles O'Menahue. Um, those guys are obviously guarantees, right? Um,
You think O'Menahue is?
yeah, yeah. They signed him, they brought him in. Yes, it's a small value contract, but I think he's going to make it. And so then that means you're talking about Javante John Baptiste, um, Drake Jackson, not Drake Jackson, DJ Johnson, Drake Jackson, Uranga, and Dietrich Wise are fighting for one, two, three, four, five, like maybe one or two spots at most. I don't think they're going to have more than 5 or 6
I
edge
think
rushers at most.
six
Yeah,
might even be pushing it.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
and if it's 5, then to me you got Owe, Chason, Armstrong, O'Menahue, and the draft pick Josephs are going to make it, and so then that would put Jackson, Jean Baptiste, Johnson, Maguranga, and Wise fighting for one spot maybe, and then you have maybe 2 or 3 of them on the practice squad. So that's my guess.
Yeah, I think Jake Jackson probably has a inside track being he was under. I think Adam Peters would drafted him, right? So I think he knows what he has potentially in him. But like you said, Alex, I think he was more of a traditional 4-3 guy as opposed to a 3-4. So that may potentially kind of shift that thinking even as well. But I think they go into the season with probably 6, especially for as thin as they are in the middle linebackers second position. So you're going to need that rotation. You're going to be able to have guys being fresh going late in that game. Um, so I don't know. We'll see. But
Okay.
I think Drake Jackson ultimately will probably have an inside track initially.
Okay. Alex?
So I'm gonna go against the grain here. I think they're only gonna keep 4 of these guys, 4
Hmm.
of the outside linebackers, and I'll tell you why. None of these depth guys that we're talking about are really standout special teams guys. That's gonna play into it a lot for who makes a roster and who doesn't, especially when you're talking about
That's
your
true. Yeah.
fourth, fifth guy. So I think they only keep 4 in the end, and it's gonna be. I'm gonna be pretty conservative out, of course. It's Owe, Chase on. I think Armstrong stays on, and they drafted Joseph, so he's gonna be in.
Now,
Uh,
only thing I'll say to all this is that Yanga is an
right,
international pathway player,
right.
so
So
they
that
could hang
plays
on to
into it.
him without killing a roster spot. At least I think on the practice squad,
I
I believe
think
that's
so
how it works.
too.
So he might stick around.
Yeah, I would assume, like you said, that they'll probably keep 2 guys on the practice squad no matter what.
Yeah.
So, it might be him and somebody else. But yeah, I think that you have more special teams guys who are going to be playing inside. When we get to that. Um, so I think that plays into it. I just don't think you. Unfortunately, even though I like the depth here, I don't think you can keep that many of them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think we all
and
agree
yeah,
there.
and to your point with the special teams, I think that makes a lot of sense. If anything, maybe not 6, maybe pushing 4-5. I would think. I still think they would still want that rotational flexibility as well
Oh,
for as much
sure.
as they're going to be relied on. So
Well,
probably
and
not 6 because of your special teams comment. Definitely not 6, probably. So I can
uh,
see your point on that.
I'm
let,
gonna
let's
go with
also
5.
let's also remember, even if they keep 5, one guy's going to probably be deactivated. On game day.
Most
Yeah.
Because
likely.
yeah, so it's gonna be, that I think the core rotation will be, like I said, Owe, Chason, Armstrong, and Josephs, and then they'll have maybe a guy that you rotate in there on game days, someone they bring.
Joseph's maybe the guy that gets benched. I mean, he's the draft pick.
That's true. He might be the guy who's deactivated a lot, especially early in the year while you're trying to develop them.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
only a 5th-round draft pick.
Right. And that we see that all the time, right? These
Yes.
guys half the season they're not starting, and then they kind of come along in the end.
Right.
Yeah. So but we'll see. We will see. All right. That should do it for this week's episode. It was a confusing episode. Didn't make a lot of sense through the first half, but we finished
You're welcome.
strong.
You're welcome.
Well, actually, I want to add one key.
Oh, Dave just botched a
Dave,
field
we're
goal
done,
here.
man. Come on. we're done,
Hold on,
dude.
hold on. I want to go back
Hurry
to
up.
one little thing there real quick. So Monday Night Raw started in 1993, 33 years and 1,700 episodes in total. So
it's
they
nowhere
have been
near The
around for a while.
Simpsons. Yes, but
No,
one that's
well
not
over The Simpsons in episode count. Episode count, well over The Simpsons.
well behind The Simpsons in years.
Yeah. Look,
Right.
if you're gonna do that, like Days of Our Lives probably crushes everything, you know?
And I would argue that Monday Night Raw has been on different networks and it's not the same show.
Well, it's been on a couple different networks, sure, but it is the same show.
Right.
It's always
right.
been the same show.
Wrestling
It's
doesn't
always
by the
been,
way-
it's always been
by the
Monday
way,
Night Raw.
We really should have thought of daytime TV nonsense because Days of Our Lives, 60
been on-
seasons,
Yeah,
15,000
That's true.
episodes.
that crushes everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
By
we're
the-
talking about fictional though. I mean, Days of Our Lives and stuff. That's not fictional, man. That's like real life stories being
All
spoken
right,
about.
I'm done
right
with
there.
this show.
By the way, I think technically we've done more episodes than The Simpsons. Then I'd have to go back and count, but I think we're over 1,000 now. So
It's well,
yeah,
there were years we were doing 2 a week.
right, exactly.
We've
So I
done it.
think
This is year 11.
right. So I think we might have beaten The Simpsons.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Yep. We and we get the same salary as those voice actors. People don't know that.
yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
All right, guys. We
Yeah.
will talk to you all next week.
All right, later.